Welcome to the Cultivation Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Hamill, and today I am excited about this week's topic, finding your tribe, which is so powerful, so meaningful, so incredibly influencing. We don't even realize how much our tribe influences us, so let's get into it. So what is it about a tribe? We've all heard, we all know the statement, and if we don't, you're about to find out. We become like the 5 people we surround ourselves with. Those closest 5 people, that's who we become like. And so with that knowledge comes a responsibility that we have to be really strategic about who our inner circle is. I know that a lot of times when we're going through life, we naturally connect with certain personality types and people who have similar backgrounds or histories. And of course, we hang out with people who enjoy the same things that we enjoy. Who wants to go to the movies with somebody who likes a different kind of movie than you, and they just make fun of the fact that you like horror movies or you like science fiction, right? You surround yourself really with people like you. They usually think religiously like you, politically like you. They agree with how your parenting skills are, or all those kinds of things, your music style. We tend to surround ourselves with those who are most like us. But that's not always the healthiest approach when you're trying to live the cultivated life. When you're trying to awaken that identity, what we need to do is take some intentionality behind who do we want to become and how do we surround ourselves with not people who are like us, but people who are like what we want to become. Why? Because when we understand that we become like the closest 5 people in our circle, when that is what's going to draw us into that future, then we get really, really intentional about it. And here's something that's super powerful that I've read about, studied about, and even experienced in my own life, that our tribe defines normal for us. That the people we surround ourselves with defines normal. So when it comes to mapping out your identity, what is it that you want your new normal? What is it that you want your normal to be set as? What's the bar that you want to be set as normal? And to give that illustration, I can only look at my own life because I don't want to call anybody out and make fun of them. But I have grown up in what I would say is an extremely dysfunctional family. If they're listening here, that's no offense given. But it's interesting, the things that was normal for us that other people kind of scratch their head and go, wait, what? That's how you grew up? That's how that was? Yep, that was normal. And we didn't see it any other way. We didn't even think it was abnormal. We just thought, yeah, that's normal. That's what's expected. That's what's happening. Why? Because our tribe defined what was normal, not society, not television, not politics. Literally, it was that core unit had the ability and the authority to describe or define what was normal. So how do we take that into who we surround ourselves with? Well, if you want to make more money, you surround yourself with people who make more money, and suddenly making $100,000 a year becomes the normal. And then now that that's the normal, that's what's expected of me. That's what's expected of this group. And then that becomes our reality. If you want to be a generous person, you get the 5 closest people around you are generous people. Suddenly generosity becomes the norm. It's part of who you are. And then you're not even talking about it, right? And you ever get around people that is maybe a little bit outside your circle? It's time to give the tip when you're at a restaurant and you're kind of like, oh, well, and maybe you tip a little extra than you're used to because you want to show off, or maybe you tip a little less because you don't want to be a show off, right? But when you're in your normal group, you tip your normal amount because your group, your tribe has defined normal for you. A powerful research study has even said this about marriage, that if you're around a group of people where divorce is normal, guess what's going to most likely happen? Now, I know this is a little bit of a stereotype, but stats say if divorce is normal with your tribe, then that's going to become a normal thing for you. But if divorce is not normal, if divorce is not an option, and you're hanging out with those 5 close people that say, hey, nope, we get through it, we battle through it, we don't avoid conflict. We did a whole show on that, right, about stop avoiding conflict, right, that sort of thing. Then suddenly those marriages have a tendency to be more successful. Now, this is not my political stance on divorce, and there's lots of reasons why that happens, so I'm not trying to justify. I'm just saying statistics show, right, we become like the 5 people or 5 couples, or those become the most influential voices in our life, and they define normal, and we tend to fall in line with what that group of people think, believe, and how they behave. So keeping that in the lens of the cultivated life, we map out our identity. I want to become this. I want to awaken to this identity, to this purpose, to this person. Surround yourself with people who that is the norm, and you will become that. Here's the next thing that I want to talk about, our tribe. Our tribe will do 2 key things in our lives. They will either challenge us and challenge our way of thinking and stretch us and mold us and move us into that future self, into that future identity that we're mapped out, or they will enable us to stay put, right? So our tribe is one of 2 things. They're either enablers, because again, they've defined normal. No, you don't need to get healthy. No, you don't need a better job. No, you don't need to be more generous. You've worked hard for what you have, right? And they'll enable you to stay stuck where you're at. And again, those are just some examples. You map yourself out however you are, whether that's that risk, that business adventure, that nature adventure, right? That sort of thing. But if you're a hiker, you're going to tend to find a community of hikers who are doing that next adventure. You've heard me talk that I hiked Half Dome, and because I have that story, I started surrounding myself with people who have done that. And then now guess what happens? I'm suddenly, as much as I hated that journey and said I would never do this again, I've got people around me that are like, what's the next mountain we can climb and conquer? And I've already kind of forgotten how miserable that was, because I remember the joy of that adventure and actually the summit and getting to the top. And now it's contagious because I'm around these people. So here's the thing. Here's the point. Let's go back to this. Our tribe either enables us to stay, they're enablers to stay put and stay stuck in life, or they challenge us and stretch us to move forward. But guess what? It's our responsibility. It's my responsibility to choose my tribe. And I know you might be sitting here thinking or watching like, but wait, Tom, I can't choose my family. I can't choose my coworkers. I can't choose this or that. That's true. But you can choose who the closest people are around you. And you, in the cultivated life, can say, hey, I'm going to create a separation here, because that is a stuck thinking. That is a limited mindset, not an abundant mindset, and not an awakened mindset, and not a cultivated mindset that says, nope, I'm going to bring this person close because they're awakening dreams. They're awakening possibilities. They're stretching me and challenging me. And that's the normal I want to become. And so I have to take personal ownership and responsibility of who I'm allowing in my inner circle, who I'm allowing those 5 influential voices to be in my life. I don't want to surround myself with people who think like me and agree with me, because I want to take my thinking to the next level. I want to be challenged to grow and to stretch. I want to challenge to be abundant. I want to be challenged to be generous. I want to challenge to be more creative, right? And so I have to surround myself with people like that. And sometimes that means, hey, I've got to tell this person, maybe they're a family member, maybe they're a coworker, and go, I got to just make the decision, hey, they're not on the same frequency. They're not on the same path that I'm on. They're not trying to create the same identity that I am. And so I'm going to have to just create some space. It doesn't mean we be rude. It doesn't mean we just go, you know what, sister? That sort of thing. Don't give out the sass, or don't get salty, as my daughter would say. Why are you getting salty with me? You don't have to get salty with them, but you can just slowly kind of create some separation and go, hey, I've only got room for 5, and I got to be really strategic about those 5 because I'm working on me and who I want to become. Kind of finally, as I start to wrap this up a little bit, our tribe becomes our identity. It's so important that we understand that our tribe becomes our identity. And as we are on this growth to become the person we're supposed to be, as we are on this trajectory of where we are awakening to this identity, look at the people around you and say, is this the same trajectory that I'm on? I know you're not the person you want to be yet. I'm not the person I want to be yet. That's why we're doing things like this. That's why I wrote the book, The Life You're Meant to Lead, right? And it's coming out. Grab it. Check out our website, ourcultivatedlife.com. You can get all the information there, because those are tools, and lots of others, by the way, that say, hey, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm more concerned, as James Clear talks about in his book, Atomic Habit, I'm less concerned about your current situation and more concerned about the trajectory that you're on. If you're a millionaire right now, but you're spending more money than what's coming in, you're not on a good trajectory, even though you're in a good place. Or if you're broke and poor and bankrupt, but you're slowly getting out of debt and you're grinding your way out of that, you're not at a good place, but you're on a great trajectory, right? And so our tribe helps map our trajectory and the path that we're on, because our tribe becomes our identity. And we need to realize that. We need to recognize that. We got to take personal action towards defining our tribe and allowing our tribe to define us. Well, not even allowing. Our tribe does define us. We don't get a say in that. But what we do get a say in is who our tribe is, and who those people are, and who those influencers are, and those voices that are speaking into us. And again, as I said at the top of the show, they define our normal. They define the standard. They define the bar that we rise to, or we eliminate ourselves from that group of people. So choose wisely, right? I think about the show Indiana Jones. You must choose wisely when choosing the cup you're going to drink from. In the same way, choose wisely when picking the tribe you're going to drink from to define your normal, because they will become your identity. Hey, I'm super excited to have you as a part of our podcast. Again, the book, The Life You're Meant to Lead. We talk way more in depth about this. This was just some extra stuff I couldn't fit in the pages of those books, but you could check out this and lots of other resources on our website, ourcultivatedlives.com. Also on there, you can see our social media feeds where we would love to hear your story and interact with you. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, right? All those places where we can connect with you and you can get more of those things. We'd love to hear from you. But again, if you like this show, you like this content, we'd ask that you would share it so we can multiply our audience. It continues to grow every week. It's incredible. New records all the time. It's kind of boring to say, not really, but we're glad you're here. Until next time, this has been the Cultivated Journey. Thanks for checking us out today. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the incredible content we have coming out. Also, we'd love to hear from you in the comment section. We read those, we respond to those as we journey together in the cultivated life.